Hi everyone, I'm Dawn Winters and you are watching the Writing for Doctoral Studies series. The video you clicked on is building a research outline, how to organize your research, and I'm really excited to share these ideas with you. Outlining is one of my favorite techniques to organize. I really found that it's really guided me through my research processes from the start of my academic career all the way to the end here. So I first want to give a little bit of a reminder of what empirical research is. So this is research that is conducted using direct or indirect observation, using standard research methodologies. So this is research that a first-hand account is being provided by the author or the authors. It's not a lit review. It's not a research paper that just cites other research. This is something that you'll see, and you'll start to see a pattern in your findings, that there'll be a section 1, there'll be a section 2 that's a lit review, there'll be a section 3 that's methodology, there'll be a section 4 that's findings, and then there'll be a section 5 that's discussion. So you really should be looking at some mini dissertations, so to speak. And that's what you should consider empirical research. It's peer-reviewed, usually. It's verifiable, and it's been triangulated, especially if it's qualitative research. So here I've got a picture of the empirical cycle. So you're going to really want to look for these markers in empirical research that allows you to know that you're including research that's sound and good in your study. So for a research outline, you can take a couple of different rows, and I'm going to show you 3 different ways you can organize ideas and research in an outline. So what I like to include in a research outline is a layout of chapter 2, and this is something that you would use if you were using an outline to plan your dissertation. If it was just for a research paper or a shorter paper, you can still use it, and you can outline your entire paper, which might include a brief lit review chapters. You're going to include phrases or markers that indicate sections. So these might be your headers. It might be, your chapters that you're organizing it by, or it just might be keywords that you want to make sure that you hit. You also want to include your parenthetical citations in an outline. So I found that if I create an outline that I don't include parenthetical citations, I'm flipping back and forth from my outline to my research and thinking, where did I get this idea? Drop it all in the outline, so when you're writing, everything is right there for you. The ideas are organized, the research is cited, and you can just drop in your parenthetical citations from your outline. What is optional is to include quotations or paraphrases that you're going to use in your writing. And you'll see in one of my outlines that I did that, and I've done that for a couple of smaller papers. It is a little bit more time consuming on the front end to include, okay, I really want to use this quotation. Or you paraphrase it yourself and you say, this is how I'm going to paraphrase Smith 2015. And you include that paraphrase in there, and then you can just drop that writing into your paper. You also might include report out information, so this is more again for your chapter 2. So you would include the author's research questions, the methodology, and the findings right there in your outline. So again, when you're writing long form, you can just drop in the details and connect the ideas using sentences and transition markers. So here's a basic chapter 2 outline. And this is actually from the one that I used for my own research. It began with introduction, and I even reminded myself what goes in my introduction, my overview of research, and then what the chapter provides. And then I organized simply by author, by marker. I didn't really have a whole lot of other words to include on this outline. It was very basic. The purpose of this outline was to make sure that all the research I had gathered was included in my chapter 2. And this is kind of what it looked like. It's handwritten. An outline does not have to be something that you type out. This is not something that a teacher or a professor is going to ask you to do. It's probably just going to be something that you do on your own to organize yourself. So that was something that I did, and it allowed me to just check off as I was writing, and it made the writing go a lot faster. And here I use these as my headers. So here was a level 1 header. Here is level 2, and then here is level 3. So I've got my headers already in line, so when I go to do my table of contents or when I go to write my chapter 2, the headers are all right there for me. Here is my second example of an outline. This is a research outline, and this is actually a screenshot of one that I put together for a presentation on MOOCs that I did for Higher Ed in America, the class Higher Ed in America. So the outline wasn't, it was very detailed, it was very lengthy, but it wasn't organized in a way that I would organize for a paper. It was more organized for the presentation, which was the purpose. But here's, like I said earlier, I included these. This is a direct quotation from Sumel 2013. I've got some paraphrases from Svidnicki that I really wanted to include, and I've got some more direct quotes and some paraphrases from different researchers that I included, and I organized it not by the researcher, but I did a bit of a synthesis. If you can recall your undergraduate days, I synthesized the research by my own ideas, not by the researcher's ideas. So what issues will students find in MOOCs? Well, they're going to have issues with student support. Well, who said what? Or who said something about student support? Well, Masters did. And then as I continued this outline, I may have included, if Smith said something about student support, or if Jones did, then I could have a combination of researchers saying something, or maybe different things about student support. Same with experiences, peer review, technical support, privacy and confidential. You'll notice that these don't include researchers underneath. You may start off with your own ideas. You're thinking about MOOCs and you're thinking, what issues might students have? And that's probably what I did. I started off with a brainstorming list, and then I filled in where I found the research. So if no researcher had been done about the technical support needed for MOOCs, then number one, that might be an area, if you're really interested in MOOCs, you're thinking, hey, if I haven't found a lot about the technical support that students need to conduct an online class from their own home, maybe that's research that you want to conduct yourself. So it's a great way to find holes in a field or a body of research for you to be able to fill in. So this is my third and final one. This is an empirical research outline. So what I've done here is it's almost like I've zoomed in to the first outline. So this is international student persistence, and instead of just listing Andrade 2006-2007, I have listed the entire, well, not the entire citation, but most of the citation, and then I've broken it down by topic, research questions, methodology, and her findings. And again, I haven't included all of her findings here, but this would be something that if you were starting early in on your chapter 2, early on your dissertation, and you wanted to look at all of these studies and you wanted to stay organized, writing an outline that includes anything that you're going to include in your report out for chapter 2, it'll make your writing go just like this. So I find this pre-organization and that linear function that an outline provides, you can almost overlay. So if I took my handwritten scribbles and I laid it on top of my chapter 2, I would find the same path. And it's really a lot easier to move things around in an outline than it is once you've written your paragraphs, because your paragraphs should include transitions and you're really building a narrative of the research. In an outline, you're just listing the facts. So if you start off talking about retention studies like I did, and then you talk about international students, and then later on in your outline, and then later on you think, no, I'm going to start off with international students and I'm going to move on to research or to retention studies, you can move those parts of the outline around because there's no transitions, you haven't built the narrative yet, it's just bullet points of facts. So you can really play around with the organization of your chapter 2 or your research paper in an outline much better than you can if you have already written your paper. The process is a little smoother and it's a little bit easier. So building an outline is something that you're interested in, but you really can't get your ideas together. Maybe you saw my concept mapping video and you thought, no, that's more for me, but I know I need an outline to get going with my research. The Writing Center can be a big help. Sometimes you just need a person to bounce ideas off of. The Writing Center can really provide that opportunity for you. They're here on campus at WKU. They're also in Glasgow, and you can get some online tutoring help there as well. Thank you very much for watching.